Good morning, everyone. Myself, Shikha Garwal, Assistant Professor in IT Department from Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College. So today, we are going to discuss about an introduction to C programming. As in the previous lectures, we have discussed about the hardware, software, what all the compilers can do, and about the low-level languages. So now we are moving towards a high-level language. So let's begin with the introduction to C programming. When we talk about the introduction to C programming, into this lecture, we are going to discuss about the various things in C programming, like about the C components, about the features of C programming, about a C character set, and then we have to talk about the C tokens. So these all are the basic terms when we talk about the introduction to programming. Now, before that, we should know what is the history about programming. So, as we have already covered that in the 1960s, we have started the journey with the programming languages. So, when we talk about the programming languages, into by using that, first language was ALGOL, which we are built, which when we talk about an ALGOL language, that particular language was established in 1960s, and this was the first language which is being used to generate the blocks. So when we talk about the structured programming concepts, ALGOL was the first language that have started the journey of generating the structures. So from that onwards, we are moving towards CPL, BPCL, B language, and so on. These are the various programming languages which we are moving towards high level languages. So in the 1972, now we are moving towards the C programming language. Basically, the C programming language, which was developed by the Dennis Ritchie, it took the concepts from the other basic languages like your ALGOL, BPCL, and B language. It supports the different features, and it is taking the concepts from these languages, and then they have developed a one programming language which is called as a C programming language. This particular programming language always supports the concepts of data types, right? Then after that, we are having a various versions of C programming like K and R C programming language, ANSI C programming language, ANI ISO have established the C programming language. Then on the minor changes is being made to the various languages or the standards. Then on the basis of that, in 2011, the C11 language is being generated, which is having a last changes in C99, and it was being established in 2011. So then we are moving towards the C programming language. As in the previous slide, we have gone through that when the C programming journey was started, it was developed by the Dennis Ritchie, and it also supports the concepts of data types, right? So when we talk about the concept of data types, in this lecture, we are going to discuss about its components, how the tokens is being working, what all are the features is there. And apart from that, we are also going to discuss about the different data types. So before we start with the other data types, let's begin with the first topic, that is a features of C programming. When we talk about the features of C programming, as we have already studied about the low programming languages. So basically, when we talk about the C programming language, it is a high level programming language with having a certain low features. Then second is it is in a stable language, which gives us stability to do the programming. As simple as that, we can say that this is a particular simple language to understand and to do the programming when we talk about the concept of structures. Then next is we are talking about the large number of operators. As we can do a many, and it is being including a various types of mathematical operators being used in the concept of C programming, and it is very easy to establish the structures and the programs with the help of the operators. So we can solve a many problems that is related to the mathematics with the help of the large number of availability of operators. The next is when we talk about the C programming, there is a one feature also. We can say it is providing a number of keywords. So basically, when we talk about the C programming language, it only includes the 32 keywords. The next is when we talk about the features, in this case, it also refers to pointers. It supports the concept of pointers. When we talk about the concept of pointers, It basically refers to the computer memory, their arrays, their structures, and their functions also, right? So in the case of the C programming language, we can easily refer to the computer memory, how we can finding the address of that particular module also. Then in the case of arrays, structures, and the functions also, because with the help of the C programming language, it is easy to generate the block of structures. That is why it is called as a structured programming language. Then we can say, when I'm talking about a C programming language, it is an extensible language which can be extended and which can support, and every time the new versions is being available, it can be enhanced by using the certain configurations. Then after that features, let's talk about its components. When I'm talking about the various components, there are the various components in the C programming, which is being divided in the various categories. First of all, let's begin with the first thing, that is called as a character set. When I'm using the word character set, right, as we know that the human being can easily understand the concept of English language, right? So then language which can be easily understood by the system or by the user. So into that case, we need to talk about the alphabets and the characters or numbers or symbols which we are using for operators and so on. When we talk about alphabets, characters, you can say, or numbers, digits, or you can say when I'm talking about the brackets or other operators, that all includes under the character set. So when we talk about the first component, that is called as a character set. Second thing, let's talk about the data types. As I've already told you that C programming language supports the concepts of data types. Data type says when I'm talking about a real value in integer, right? For example, if I want to write 4, so this is a real integer value, right? So then we can say this particular is being supported with the help of the data types in the C programming, because it is a complete integer value. So it will be represented into int. For example, if I'm taking a character value like you can say alphabets A, Z, A, B, and so on. So these all are your characters. So we can say it is having a one more data type, that is called characters. When I'm talking about a real or floating type values, for example, we are having a 4.25. Right, this particular value is in decimals, so it will represent, we want to represent the whole value as 4.25, so we can use the concept of float. Then if we are using a larger or bigger number values, then we can use the concept of double. Now after that, there are certain things which we need to use as a constant. For example, if I want to calculate the area of a circle, right, so its formula is pi r square, in which we know the value of pi is constant, that is 22/7 or 3.14. So that particular value is constant. Into that case, we have to be fixed into that value. So those values are called constants, which can be represented to calculate the generally for the formulas. Like for example, 24, if we are using ax plus b, so into that case b value is to be constant, right, in equations. Then we can, if we are representing hello world and so on, so these all are being considered as a constants. Then after that, we are having a one more thing, that is we are talking about variables. When I'm talking about variables, variables are those which gives a memory space into the system, and onto those variables we have to assign the values. Just for example, if in maths we are writing that x is equals to 5, so we have used the variable x, in which we have input the value as 5, right? So similarly, in the case of C programming, we can use the concept of variables, right? And then after that, the last term is your keywords. When I'm talking about the keywords, I have already told you in the previous slide that there are only 32 keywords in the C programming language, and those 32 keywords is like, for example, I have told you that 4 is an integer. So for the integer, either of writing integer, this is what integer is. So no, but in the C programming, we are using the one as a keyword int in the case of C language. For if, else, else, and break, and there are a lot of keywords when we talk about the C programming. Then after that, first let's begin with the character set. When I'm talking about the character set, When I'm talking about the character set, these all are the things when it comes to about the characters. For example, the first is alphabets. Whatever the alphabets we are using, each and every alphabet is being character used. Digits from 0 to 9 or in other combinations. Special symbols like colons, semicolon, or at the rate, brackets, and so on. These all are being considered as a character set. Then next is your white spaces. Just say, for example, if I'm writing hello world, so how would you write? First of all, you will write the word hello, then you make a one finger space, then you are writing the word world, right? So when we are talking about this particular space, this is also being considered as a one character set, right? Or if we are moving towards the next line, for example, I'm writing hello, and in the next line I'm writing a world. So we can say when we are moving towards the next line, then we can use a white space, that is backslash n. This is also being used as a white space, right? And the last is operators. As I've already told you, all the operators like plus, minus, multiplication, division, modulus, greater than, lesser than, and so on, these are also being character as a character count, character set. The next we are going to talk about tokens. When we talk about the C programming tokens, tokens are basically the the tokens are basically the basic building blocks of a C programming language. When we are talking about a particular individual unit in a C programming, then we can say it is called tokens. The C programs are being constructed by the using the combinations of the various tokens, in which you can talk about the various tokens, and the tokens is being categorized in the 5 categories. For example, the first is your keyword. Whenever you are talking about the concept of keywords into the system, then we are having an identifiers. There are certain constants, their special symbols, and their operators. So these all are being considered as the tokens. When we talk about the concept of tokens, let's talk one after one another. Like first of all, we'll discuss keywords, identifiers, constants, special operator, and special symbols, and all one by one. First of all, we'll discuss about the keywords. What do you mean by the term keywords? Keywords are those words which is being having a predefined meaning, and they are being used for a particular task. And these words are also known as reserve words. As I have given you an example, for example, if I want to write the value like 4, right? So 4 is what? This is a constant value, right? But this is an integer value also. So if I want to write to declare int x, so this indicates whatever the value will give to provide to the x, it should always be an integer type. When it is an integer type, so for representing an integer, we are using the keyword as int. So basically int is a keyword, and it is also known as the reserved keywords. And basically these keywords is having a fixed meaning, right? Or it always being written in a lowercase. As I've already told you that we are having a 32 keywords. Let's understand the concept of keywords with one more example. Just say for example, if we want to print hello, right? If we want to print onto the screen hello. So when we are talking about the concept of C programming, in spite of writing print, the syntax is print f. In this, we have to use the curly brackets, curve brackets, and into which in this double quotes, we have to write the word hello. So in this particular word is a keyword to print the statement, to print the given statement. Though what is the keyword? That is a print f, right? This is the way we are talking about the concept of keywords. When we talk about the keywords, as I've already told you, we are having a 32 keywords. So this is the list in which we are talking about the different keywords. So these all are the keywords which we are used for your programming. Then after that, let's begin with the next topic, that is an identifiers. When I'm talking about the identifiers, basically identifiers are used to name a various programs, such as whenever we are giving a variable a particular name to it, or functions or their arrays, right? So this is the way we are talking about the concept of identifiers. Basically variable is the name which is being representing the memory location into which it is being used to hold a particular value that can be modified during the execution of a program, right? So they are talking about identifiers. How we need to talk about the declaration of a variable? That syntax for declaration of a variable is data type, then we have to give the variable name. So first of all, we have to give the data type. Suppose if I'm talking about an integer value, so I'm using the concept of int x. So we have to write the concept int x. So it means whenever this particular x stores up location into the memory, it always stores the value of integer type, right? Now if I write float y, so this indicates there is a memory space generated memory location of a particular variable whose name is y, and it will store the value of the real type, that is a floating values, right? So this is the way how we have to talk about identifiers. Let's say this is a memory location x, this is a memory location y. So suppose if I give the value of x as 10, so this particular x will store the value as 10. Why? Because it will only talk about integer value. When we talk about the float, for example, if I input y is equals to 4, right? But this is not a floating value. So in spite of that, because it is a data type is float, so it will store 4.0. This indicates 0.0 indicates the real value, right? So this is the way how it is talk about the identifiers. There are the certain rules and regulations whenever we are naming to the identifiers. Like I have given you the name of the identifier as 1, 2, 3, X, Y, Z and so on. So when we talk about the identifiers, there are certain rules. The first rule says that it may consist of alphabets, digits and underscored. Just say for example, if I'm writing integer X, then it would be acceptable. If I write integer X underscored 5, this can also be started. Lekin when we talk about it starting with the digits also, so if I'm writing integer x4, it is acceptable. But if I'm writing integer 4x, this is not acceptable, because the identifiers must be not start with the digits. Whatever the things is being used as a keyword, we cannot use as a identifier. For example, if I want to describe integer in a float, so float can never be an identifier because it is already a keyword into the programming languages. Second thing, white spaces is not allowed in the keywords. Only the first 31 characters are significant, right? Suppose we are giving the long length, so into that case only the 30 up to the 31 characters it should be significant. For example, sum a x2 first underscore name underscore si, these are the certain identifiers which are valid. But if I'm talking about the invalid identifiers, some invalid identifiers is like simple interest, we have given a one white space, this is not acceptable. Second thing, if I've started with the special operators with the name of the programming, it is not acceptable. The third is, I've already told you that we cannot start with the digits. So if I'm writing 12 underscore DFC or DRF something etc., these all are the invalid identifiers which cannot be acceptable while doing the programming. Somewhere it will show certain errors. The next we are talking about the constants. When we are talking about the constants, as I've already told you, constants are those values which cannot be changed during the execution. These are fixed. So when we can talk about the constants, they are also known as literals. Sometimes in the exams they can ask you about the reserve keywords. So that is also we are talking about keywords. Sometimes they can ask you about literals. So we know what our literals is. Literals is basically the constants only, right? When I'm talking about the constants, there are the four types of constants: character constant, integer, floating point and strings. These all are being considered as a certain constants. So one by one after this we will discuss all the constants also. Let's talk about the integer constant. Integer constant are those constants which is being representing a sequence of digits, right? In which we are having only the numbers. These are called integer constants. Just say for example, 1 is an integer, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 4, 5, 6, 3, and so on. These are by default integer literals, which are of integer type, right? But when I'm talking about its representation, then if I am writing like 1, 2, 3 space, and then we are writing 4, 5, 6, this is a wrong representation. Second thing, if we want to represent the bigger values, then we cannot use commas. Generally, what we are doing it when we talk about the money concepts in the maths, we are using the concept of commas and all, right? So into that case, we cannot use commas. So similarly, if we want to symbol of the currencies, we are using like dollar, rupee, and so on. We cannot use in the C programming. Like if we want to represent a dollar to 34 rupees, so we cannot write dollar. We only wants to write 234 without using a white space. These are called integer constants. Now after that, let's begin with the floating point concepts. When I'm talking about floating constants or real constants, floating constants are those constants which is having an integer part and decimal part or fractional or exponent field. Then we can talk about the floating point values. Just for example, if I'm writing 0.02, so 0 is your integer part and 0.02 is your fractional part, right? Or sometimes we want to write that like 2 raised to power minus e. So this is an exponential part we are representing. So we can write like 4.57 e minus 23. This is the way how you can represent the floating or the real constants. By default, when I'm talking about the floating literals, they are being used a double as a data type. There are certain invalid constants also, like if we wants to write 5.6 e to space 23, this is not acceptable, and so on. These are the invalid constants. Then after that, let's talk about the character constant. When I'm talking about the character constant, the character constants consist of a single character which is being enclosed in a single quotes. There is a one difference between the character constant and string constant. So please be careful while going through the character or string. So when I'm talking about the character constant, it is a single constant, or sorry, it is a single character which is being enclosed in a single brackets or single quotes. For example, small a, small d, at the rate, these all are being considered as a character constant. But when that particular constant is being enclosed in a double quotes, right? When it is being enclosed in a double quotes, like if you are writing this particular a with a double quotes, then it will be considered as a string. Or if we are writing with the single quotes, then it will be considered as a character constant. So this is the difference between the character and the string. When I'm talking about the character constants, they are not stored into the machine as it is, but they are being converted into the ASCII codes, right? And they are being converted according to the system into the binary conversion with the help of the ASCII codes, and then it will be go through the system. All the escape sequences are also considered as the character constants. When I'm talking about the character constants and string constants, the last is your backslash character constant. As I've already told you, when we are talking about the white spaces, this is also being considered, and we have used the special white spaces also, which is called as a backslash character constant. In the previous slides, I've used backslash n, backslash b. So this is all being considered as a backslashes. Basically, when I'm talking about the backslash, it is an escape sequence. Basically, it is a sequence of characters that does not represent itself when it is being used in a character or as string literals, but it is being translated to the another character. It is being used in a formatting the output in the formatting output functions, right? And this is being representing only a one character at a particular amount of time, like backslash n for the next line and so on. When I'm talking about the backslash, these are the various character constants which is being used into the C programming. Their hexadecimal notations values is being converted with the ASCII values, and these are the meanings of the particular system. As I've already told you, when I'm talking about a backslash n, we can talk about the new line that we have to move to the next line. Now after that, there are the certain characteristics of the backslash or escape sequences. Each combination starts with the backslash keyword, and they are non-printing characters. It can be expressed in the terms of octal digits or in hexadecimal sequences. And remember one thing, each and every escape sequence is having its own unique ASCII values. Now let's begin with the character structure of the C programming. Right, with the help of this structure, let's begin with the one C programming structure. When I'm talking about the structure of the C programming, this is the basic structure. First of all, you can include your document section. Document section will tell you that what your particular program is going to do it. So you can include that theory. Suppose if I want to calculate the area of a rectangle, so you can write calculate area and a perimeter of a rectangle as a document section. This particular represents that you can include the data. The second is your preprocessor directives. All those header files which is including into the keywords, we have to include those preprocessor directive header files also, so that we can include the data, and whenever it is being called into the system, it is easy to use the system. The next is your global declaration sections. There are certain values which is being declared globally so that we can use anywhere into the program. Those are called as a global declaration section. For example, we want to calculate the area of a circle. We know the value of the pi, so we can declare it globally, and then after that we can use anywhere into the program. Then after that, we always remember one thing, the C programming programs is always start with the main. Main is that keyword from where into the square brackets we have to mention each and every section, how that particular programming is being working. Now after that, we cannot declare all the parameters as a global parameters, so we have to talk about the local declaration also. Then you can do this statements, processing and rest of the things into the main program, and then you close the program. If we want to include certain functions or into the program, then you can either specify it into the statements, or you can call the other functions outside the main program. This is the way how the C structure programming works. Let's begin with the first program that we need to talk about. The concept of C programming, that is the first program to print hello world. So when I'm talking about this particular program, let's begin with the first thing. This is the way how that particular program is being displayed. Suppose if I want to display a simple hello message or welcome message, so this is called as a document section. In the document section, what this particular program is being doing, we have to mention it. Then after that, we have to use the certain header files, with those are called as a preprocessor directives. They say, for example, hash include stdio.h and hash include conio.h. These are the certain header files. There are many other header files also which can be included into the preprocessor directive, so that whatever the program is being doing, then we can write the program. As I've already told you, each and every program is being started with the main, then we have to write the main program, and these are closing and opening brackets, and into which you can write anything. Just say, for example, you can include the certain statements, pre-processing, processing the system and so on. Then you can write anything. Suppose if I want to simply print hello or welcome to the world of the C programming, we have written printf and we have written a one statement. As this is being written in a double quotes, so this is a simple string literals, and then after that we have to write get ch, and we can console the system and coming outside the program. When I'm talking about the preprocessor directives, preprocessor are those which is being work under the control of the set of instructions. Then you can say these are called preprocessor. They are executed before the compilation process. And remember one thing, this always starts with the symbol hash. Fine. So this is called as a preprocessor directives. Now, this is the first program I can show you. There are certain programs I have included into my PPT that about the calculation of an area. Just say, for example, if I want to calculate the area of a circle, then we can write the one formula. We have to write the documentation section. We can include the header files, and then we can write float, radius and area, right? We can directly use the value as 22.5 22 by 7 into the system, and then we can calculate the area by using the maths formula, and we can find the program. There are the certain programs to calculate the area of a triangle. Then you can talk about the calculating to swapping the two numbers. These are the certain programs